Each day, men and women have a variety of responsibilities to maintain. Establishing yourself professionally and attaining a personal life of fulfillment are usually at odds in our society. These clashes can lead to an unfulfilled existence. Have you had enough of this constant discontentment? It's time to change your perspective at Live Life Wealthier. Listen in on conversations that reveal the keys to living a full life. Learn how to achieve true wealth in the 4 realms of L.I.F.E: love, inspiration, family, and enterprise. This is your guide to breaking free from a rut and maintaining a healthy balance between your personal and professional lives. Marta Harich is your host.
Hello, and thank you so much for joining us today for our first ever live podcast session of Live Life Wealthier. Live Life Wealthier has been a pet project of mine for a very long time, and it means a lot to me that you are taking the time out of your day to listen to this show. My goal in creating this show is to be able to talk about things that many of us don't have the time to speak about or think about, and maybe we have misconceptions around various topics, such as what living a robust, fulfilling life really means. So in creating this show, there's an acronym for LIFE that is very important, and I'll be addressing the different areas of what's important in life that I have found through my personal and professional experience. And I'd like to open that up for a discussion with you, my audience, to see what resonates with you and how we can build upon and elevate what we're trying to do as individuals, as entrepreneurs, as parents, as business owners, as friends, and as human beings collectively. So to me, Live Life Wealthier is a combination of life. And life stands for love, inspiration, family, and enterprise. And what I have found throughout my career is that the combination of all 4 of those components in the word life really gives us a fulfillment and a desire to do more and achieve more. And it gives us that fulfillment of being happy and at peace, knowing that we have touched upon all those areas. And what's interesting is that my professional career is about money. It's about accounting and taxes and strategic tax planning. It's about ways that we can save clients money, increasing their cash flow, increasing business profits. And the first and foremost way that we can do that is by minimizing our clients' taxes. So knowing my professional background and knowing that this is my litmus test in the way I operate life in all aspects, I've seen firsthand, not only from my clients' experiences, but my own experiences, is that the fulfillment of having more cash flow and a more profitable business and paying less taxes is an awesome tool in itself, but it by itself does not fulfill our lives. And to some of us, it fulfills us in a way that gets us to that next level or allows us to see a path of financial freedom. But money doesn't create happiness, right? Money is just a tool that we are able to use to help us to get to the next level. So in looking at my young kids and my stepkids as they're growing up, how do I, as a mother, as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, as a leader, how can I translate what I have learned throughout my professional career and personal life to something that my children 10, 20 years down the road can look back and see, wow, my mother has made an impact. My mom has showed me the way. My mom has given me ideas and tools and different ways to think about my life, my career, my passions, my inspiration, in a way that can change and transform us internally and also tie into the universal forces that allow us to be ourselves, that give us the tools to be the best individuals and human beings that we can be. So what does that look like? So in my world, creating Live Life Wealthier is a way where we can have the conversations in a safe place that are taboo, that maybe we don't necessarily think about, but have a direct impact on the way we lead our lives. And in looking at the acronym for life, love, that could be love for ourselves and love for our passions and the respect that we have for what we're trying to accomplish. I is for inspiration. And to me, inspiration is about the universal force, about spirituality, like what drives us? What can we connect to be able to hone in our skills and enhance our perception of ourselves and what we can accomplish? F is family. And family can mean our nuclear family, our spouse, our children, but it can also be our parents and grandparents and siblings, and also the work family that we have created. So family can go in a different direction, right? And E is enterprise. Enterprise is anything we do for financial resources, such as our W-2 employment with an employer, or maybe we own a business, or maybe we're a serial entrepreneur where we're creators and we want to create all these possibilities to not only get an idea out, but help others explore their own ideas and accentuate their skills. So in that combination of life, love, inspiration, family, and enterprise, my goal is to create a community where we can discuss these things that are absolutely important to us and not just focus on one area that we typically focus on, right? Whether it's money or it's our family problems or it's our maybe lack of spirituality, or maybe it's our lack of, and I'm using the word lack very specifically, because I'd like us to get away from that mindset. I'd like us to throw away anything that we feel that we're lacking in all of these areas, in love, inspiration, family, and enterprise. And I'd like us to eventually turn our view and our passion and the way we view the world. I'd like to turn that stone so that we're looking at everything from an abundance standpoint. And I know it'll take some time to get there. And I hope that you trust me enough. And I am thrilled that you're here listening to this, because I'd like to take every opportunity and every step that I have to be able to get all of us, all of our listeners, my family, my clients, everyone I come across, I want everyone to be elevated. And I feel like that combination of discussions about money, about home life, about the way we're inspired, the way we can center ourselves is going to be the first way to get there. And I look forward to hear from you and hear your comments and concerns and your wins and your challenges. And I'd like to tackle those. So the way we're going to structure the show is we're going to have some shows where it's me talking about a very specific topic, something that maybe I've come across and was inspired to discuss that day. And we're also going to have some shows where we bring on guest speakers. And guest speakers are either going to be experts in the fields of love, inspiration, family, and enterprise. They're going to be guests from all different walks of life. And we're going to have guests that are trying to just live, right? They're going to be guests that are trying to make the best of life. And we're going to talk about real things that we struggle with. And how can we make those little changes and those little tweaks to be able to help us get to the next level? All right. So I hope you're going to enjoy this journey. I'm certainly excited that I am here sharing this perspective with you. I'm also a little nervous. And I really, really can't wait to see how this show unfolds. So, being that this is the first episode, I'd like to go into, some of the areas of life that are super important, and I'd like to collectively explore with you. So the first one is love. And I think the best way right now to get our feet wet, right? Get that foot in the door to make sure that we're on the same page and that you're resonating with this message and that you come back to find out more and discover more is to go through some of the challenges that I have had on my journey. And based on that, I'd like you to know that I'm an open book and I'm vulnerable. And by sharing vulnerability, I feel like that helps all of us elevate and all of us have the power to tackle our own fears and our own insecurities and dispel them and turn that stone from a lack to an abundance. And I challenge you, this is very interesting because changing our mindset is one of the most challenging things because we have to fight a lot in our current surroundings to be able to see things from a new perspective. But I promise you that your mind is the only thing you can control, right? Your thoughts are truly your own, and no one can ever take that away from you, no matter what stage in life you're in, no matter what your background is, no matter what your childhood upbringing was, your schooling, your professional career, your life, your children. No one can take away what you think and how you think. And I encourage you to allow yourself the opportunity and the room to grow, to think about things from a different perspective. And in doing so, we're able to change our lives for the better. Okay? So, for example, in tackling the first letter of the word life, one of the first things that I have always found a challenge is love. And love for me has been a struggle because I didn't realize until many, many years into my career that I didn't love myself enough to be vulnerable with the individuals I come in contact with. And this is one of the reasons why I've developed Live Life Wealthier as a program and as a show, because we all need to find individuals that are strong, that can help elevate us and help pull us along in our lives, but people that we can also identify with, right? It's hard for me to look at a leader and say, wow, I want to make sure they pull me along if I don't find a reason that I resonate with them. So in my personal struggles with love, it took me a while to realize that I am enough. And this was a soul searching time in my life. And it has spanned for over 10 years now, where I didn't realize that the reasons why I wasn't getting ahead in life is because I wasn't respecting and loving myself. And it's interesting because respecting and loving ourselves goes beyond how we look, how we act, how we speak, who we're surrounded with, right? It goes directly to the core of our mind, our spirit, our heart, and what that really means. And it wasn't until I started diving into what my personal life mission is, it wasn't until then that I realized that, wow, I have all the gifts within me. And I just have to be able to peel all the layers of the onion and really dive in and take all my experiences and get rid of the lacks in my life, my lack of money, my lack of being in a wealthy family, my lack of having business experience when I first started out, right? I needed to get rid of all these lacks so that I can respect who I was as an individual and be able to really, really shine. But I couldn't shine until I was comfortable with myself and I loved not only what I was trying to accomplish, but where I wanted to focus all my gifts. So in my soul searching, I realized that I want to empower others to use the gifts that they have internally that they were already born with and use those gifts for a greater purpose. And in so doing, it truly took me a long time to get out of my shell. One of my greatest fears, for example, is public speaking. And what I realized is that fear in itself was my indicator that that's exactly what I needed to do. I may not be a professional speaker yet, but I am certainly out there getting a message across and helping gather others and giving them the empowerment that they are enough and that they can do what they really want to do. So in so doing, when I first started speaking in front of audiences, even if they were 2 or 3 people, oh my gosh, I would almost have a heart attack. I would, my hands would be sweaty. I would sweat through my shirt. Like I was so nervous and I couldn't articulate anything. I would stumble over my words. And it's then that I realized that this fear that I had right in front of me, this was actually my North Star. This was something that I feared so profusely that I need to jump over that hurdle and really put myself out there. And for me, when I talk about loving myself and what I'm here to accomplish in this world, I've realized that for me, anything that I fear, if I tackle it head on, I laugh at it as soon as I'm finished. Now I love speaking to individuals and I love sharing the message because I'm not judging myself on what I'm saying. I am judging myself on, did I communicate? Was I effective? Did I feel whole at the end of this message? So even though this is the first show of Live Life Wealthier, I am so excited that I'm here and this has been one of my fears in creating a show that will resonate with others. So instead of me worrying about who's going to listen to the show, who's going to download it, who's going to leave messages, who, what, where, when, and why, I just decided to start it. And I know this show is going to grow and it's going to be extraordinary. And it's going to be extraordinary with your help and with your input. And I have no problems being vulnerable on the show. And I want you to know that this is meant to be a communication between you and I. And I hope that 10, 15, 20 years down the road, my kids can listen to this show and know that they can accomplish anything, anything. And that life is not just about money, that life is about us coming together and really looking at all the components of life to be able to determine where we can move next and how we can utilize those tools to elevate us and make us extraordinary successes, not in someone else's eyes, but in our own mind and in our own hearts. So this is the goal. Okay, so I shared with you a little bit about love. Now, inspiration. Inspiration is interesting. I have always been a woman of faith, and I have always felt connected to a higher power. And this is not a religious conversation. It doesn't matter what religion you believe in, or if you don't believe in a religion at all. This is not a religious conversation. This is about connecting to a deeper, stronger force that drives us all, a force that we're able to connect to. And for a moment, we're able to feel like we can accomplish anything. That moment of inspiration that makes our hearts palpitate and our palms sweat and gives us butterflies in our stomach. Those flashes of inspiration where we're able to know, wow, something magical and special just happened here, but I don't know what it means. That inspiration is usually our gut feeling, or that inspiration is usually something coming in from the divine universal force that drives us to do something, that unexplainable feeling where we don't know why we're doing it, but it feels right and it feels like we must do it. And no matter what stands in our way, we do it anyways. That's the universal force that I'm talking about. So in my soul searching and in me trying to find that love and respect for myself and what I'm looking to accomplish, I had to hone in and really be present and available to let that force overcome me. And the only thing I can equate this to is when I first met my husband, Phil. We had an amazing date and we had decided to go skydiving. And we were probably on a high from, one of our first dates. And we said, all right, what can we do next? What can we do that's just so different that we haven't really done before? Now, Phil has gone skydiving before. He's a Marine, so he's done it all, right? Me, on the other hand, I wanted to do something outside of my comfort zone. And it's that fear again. And I feared it so much, I knew that I had to do it. So on that date, we ended up calling a skydiving location near our house, and they booked us for the next morning. I was surprised. I didn't think they were going to have availability, but we went there. I was excited. I had adrenaline rushing. I couldn't wait. And then we were on the plane, and right before I was to jump with my instructor, I looked back at Phil and I said, I'm making a mistake. I can't do this. I can't do this. I don't know why people do it. And I was really, really scared. And he turned to me and said, Marta, just surrender. You have no control at this point. Just surrender to the experience. And when I think about that moment, I have this warm feeling in my heart and my gut, because what he said, I don't even know if he realized how impactful that would be to me. That was the day and the moment that changed my life, truly. I remember I was at the opening, the door was open in the plane, and I was at the opening looking down, and my mind could not justify me jumping out of the plane. There was no logic. There was no justification. I couldn't bring my mind to explain to me why I was doing this. So I remember I looked up at the sky, and I said, I trust you, Lord. Do with me what you will. And I surrendered. And then I fell out of the plane, and it was one of the best experiences I've ever had. I essentially surrendered my logic. I surrendered to a greater force than myself, right? I mean, we can't control our destiny in the day and the time and the location that we're taken away from this planet. And I know this just took a morbid turn for a moment, but it's important for me to say this because it's only when we fully surrender our logic and our expectations, and we're fully present in the moment, that's when the magic happens. That's when you're filled with that universal force, that inspiration that drives you. So fast forward to today. When I don't know how to do something, when I can't logically explain why I need to go somewhere or speak to someone, or if I can't logically decipher why a certain event needs to occur, I surrender. And I let the universal forces help me through the day or help me through the situation. And by the end of that event, I feel that something extraordinary has been accomplished. And that's what I mean by inspiration. So in inspiration, we're surrendering, right? We're being present. We're allowing life to happen. And usually when we do that, when we surrender and we're present, we get that spark of inspiration where we can see a different side of ourselves, and we can see that creativity or that idea or something we were thinking about, or that clarity that we're usually not able to see. All right, the next one's family. For me, family is extraordinary. And I struggle here a lot. And I struggle here because I'm a mom. I'm a mom of 3 amazing, gorgeous children. And I'm also a stepmom of 3 amazing, gorgeous children. So we have a blended family of 6. And what's interesting is that I had to learn over a long period of time that being an entrepreneur does not replace me being a mom. And me being a mom does not make me a worse entrepreneur. So for a while, I was trying to separate those 2 pieces. Okay, I'll be an entrepreneur from 9 to 5, and I'll be a mom in the morning and in the evening. But in reality, that's not reality, right? The reality is we are who we are at all points in our lives and every single moment of our lives, every single second of the day. We can't change who we are and feel whole. Now, what I have done in the past is, all right, business is business 9 to 5, and I'm going to leave that hat at the front doorstep once I go back to the house, right? And it worked for a while, but I noticed a distaste that I had, and it was my own distaste. I didn't like who I was because I felt like I was being 2 different people. And then I realized that life isn't about compartmentalizing family from work, from a career, but it's also not about feeling guilty because I can't be a mother at work and I can't work at home, right? It was a realization that life is an integration. It's a dance. It's a balance. It's a balancing act. I'm not a perfect entrepreneur and I'm certainly not a perfect mother, but I had to get past the guilt that I felt of not being with my family all the time because my career is also very important to me and I have a huge mission to accomplish. So in that vein, I battle through a lot of mother's guilt. And I'm sure a lot of mothers that are listening right now can perhaps empathize. And what I realized I had to do is not judge myself by other standards. For example, I know that given my career schedule, my travel schedule, my speaking engagements, etc., I know I can't be for every PTA meeting at my kids' schools. And for a while, I had a lot of guilt over that. I felt like I wasn't serving my children. But at the end of the day, I realized that I am serving my children by being very clear as to what I can't accomplish. I can't be a yes person everywhere I go, but I can be present everywhere that I'm at. So, for example, if I'm at home, I am present with my children. We are watching TV together. We are drawing. We are taking a walk. We're riding bikes. We're going to the pool. We're creating. We're doing things, right? We're doing things together. So the quality time I have realized is better than the quantity of time. So yes, if I'm not able to volunteer at my kids' class, or if I'm not able to attend the PTA meetings, or maybe I can't do a morning bus drop off, that's okay. Because when I see my children, whether it's for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, or 5 hours in a row, I am present so that I don't feel guilty. And vice versa at work. At work, I am also present, but I don't have to I don't have to draw that very clear line of, well, I won't take my children's calls if they call me, or I won't be doing anything house related while I'm at work. If I'm in a meeting, I'm present at that meeting. And when I'm present, I'm able to accomplish more within that given amount of time than if I had ample time and unlimited time to be able to accomplish that specific task. So in family, I'm going to emphasize that for me, the most important thing that I've learned that has helped me be successful both in career and family is being present and not worrying about what other people think about my choices. And when I say my choices, yes, they're mine, but they're also my husband's and my choices. So everything that we do together. And we're a really great team where if one of us can't do something, the other one picks it up, and vice versa. If the other one can't do it, the other individual picks it up. And I think this is so extraordinarily important because the teamwork there is super, super helpful. Another thing that I have found, and I'm going to transition this into enterprise. Enterprise, once again, is working, creating income, being an entrepreneur, being a business owner. In being a business owner, I have found that I have integrated life with my business. So whenever we're at the office and we feel like bringing the kids, and I say we because it's either me or my husband or both of us, we'll bring the kids to the office and we'll share some of the tasks that we're doing here. And our kids will enjoy helping us shred paper, or they're helping us edit videos, or they're drawing for clients, they're signing thank you cards. It's a really neat process for the kids. And the fact that our kids are exposed to business and entrepreneurship, our children also visit when our clients come from abroad or from different states. We'll all go out to dinner together, we'll hang out, we'll go to an event, or we'll go to our house. And when we do that, we're creating a normalcy for our children. So when our children grow up, they're not going to think, oh, well, when you're at work, you have to act this way. And when you're at home, you have to act this way. No, we're creating an environment where they can be themselves, but also learn the responsibilities of what it is to be an entrepreneur. And as an entrepreneur, we don't have the luxury to clock out at 5, go home and not think about work. As an entrepreneur, we're thinking about work 24 hours a day. It's just part of our nature. It's part of our fiber. We can't change that. So how do we create a successful career and a successful family life and a successful personal life if we can't integrate all that together? So instead of worrying about how to separate things, let's bring them all together and create this beautiful dance where you're creating your own lifestyle, you're creating your own path, and you're dispelling any other person's judgment of how you're doing it. Gosh, it's not anyone else's life, it's yours. So let's dive into this together. So these are the things, and I hope that was helpful in explaining my background and the reasons why I've created Live Life Wealthier. My challenges, yes, they're my own, but I also feel they're universal. I don't feel that my feelings and the struggles that I have are purely my own. I know that there's other people that struggle with what I struggle with. And this is why I want to bring this up to an open environment, up to something that's vulnerable and identifiable so that we can all elevate together. We can all be better together. And let's get rid of everyone that judges us. Let's get rid of things that were written in stone, and let's recreate our own path to be able to get to that next level. So if this resonated with you, I am thrilled and I welcome you back, and I can't wait to chat with you and see you at the next episode. Take care. Bye.
Thank you for taking the time to listen to this episode. May this discussion serve as a gentle reminder that living a fulfilling and purposeful life is possible. Take charge of your life right now by cultivating relationships, drawing inspiration, nurturing love, and expanding income streams. Visit livelifewealthier.com for additional conversations that will provide you with life-altering aha moments. That's all I have for now. Until the next time, take care.